Yeah. Can you hear me now? Okay. I can't hear you, but I think it's because you muted.
Yes, I'm muted, but I can hear you
That's
now.
okay. That's great.
Amazing, amazing.
No, I was just sharing, I'm giving folks just maybe a couple more minutes before I start to see if they
Hmm.
might join, considering the lateness of my
Yeah,
notice. I'm glad you caught it.
me
Yay.
too, me too.
I want to text someone who I know really wanted to join, and then I'll get started. Hi, Stephanie.
Hello.
How are you? I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
As always, it is optional to join. I mean, with your camera on or your name on the phone. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to share some epiphanies with you all. And life has been full of them recently. Uh, so, in the email, like I mentioned, I have been going through this certification of emotional alchemy. And I feel like a new woman, a new person. When you think of emotional alchemy, what comes to mind? You can just unmute and share, or you can type it in the chat, either one.
Sounds like liberation.
Liberation. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say it's that. Okay. You got the email reminder, iPhone? Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Um, well, traditionally or historically, alchemy refers to the refinement of like raw materials or um, iron into gold. I think in some cases it was a little bit of folklore, but that's the idea that, um, and raw materials, raw metals could be refined or transformed or alchemized into gold. So emotional alchemy is this process, and it's not folklore because I've experienced it. It's this process of alchemizing our raw emotions, maybe even our lower vibration emotions, into a more refined, usable, productive, higher vibration emotions. It's really beautiful. So let me just first start by sharing. You probably all had biology in high school, or can you hear me okay, by the way? Just thumbs up. Okay. You probably had biology, human biology in high school or college, and know that human beings are made up of thousands and, you know, millions of cells. And each of these cells has energy running through them. And that energy connects the cell to the next cell, and to the next cell, and to the next cell, and so on. And this energy exists in our body, and we gain insight into the energy when we bring it from our subconscious into our conscious. Imagine a glacier. I'm sure you've all seen pictures of a glacier. We only see 5% of the glacier. The rest is below the water surface, about 95%. And that symbolically represents our mind. We only have access to about 5% of our thoughts, our feelings, our memories, our emotions, because most of it is below that water level, we could say, and is in our subconscious. It's there for us to learn from and gain wisdom from. We often are just so kind of mechanically going through life that we don't pause and take the time to access what's below the surface, kind of figuratively and literally. So we gain insight into this energy when we bring it from the subconscious to the conscious. One of the first doorways to do that is through our feelings or our emotions. Every feeling we have is a vibration of energy at varying frequencies. Okay. So think of a radio wave, that type of a frequency, energy depiction. The vibration is just the back and forth of something. In this case, energy. The frequency is how quickly or slowly or how frequent it is. So the higher the frequency, the more peaks and valleys and less space between them. The lower, then the more space between the peaks and valleys, and there's fewer peaks and valleys, and probably the space between the peak and the valley decreases. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is representing our emotions. And this constant energy that's occurring in our bodies. And it's kind of a constant vibe, you could call it, these electrical signals. There's actually truth then behind the popular saying or meme is, send good vibes or sending you good vibes. I mean, that's a thing. It's really happening when you're conscious about it. So we've all heard of, maybe not seen, but heard of Inside Out, the movie. That first one spotlights our 5 basic emotions. Okay, anybody know those? Okay, I'm just going to let you cheat and I'll tell you. So it's sad, mad. Actually, I'm going to say anger because that's what the movie says, but also I think that's the more base emotion. So sad, anger, fear, joy, and disgust. Each one of those emotions has a different vibration and frequency. Okay. Or in other words, each one is different in how quickly it has that back and forth exchange of energy, or how slowly. The higher vibrational frequency emotions like joy and happiness, there's more peaks and valleys, less space between them. The emotions like sadness or disappointment, sorrow, definitely going to have more space between that back and forth exchange of energy. So a lower vibrational frequency. Okay. So I want you to experience this contrast for yourself. Okay. I want you to close your eyes and get comfortable. If that's sitting, let it be sitting. If you want to lay down, that is allowed. I tend to carry I carry a lot of motion in my shoulders. So I like to roll my shoulders back. Take a minute and roll your shoulders back. And we're going to take in some deep breaths as you do this. I like to sit with my palms up, whether I'm sitting or laying down, in a place of receiving. So I like to do that. I want you to, yep, I'm already feeling it. Start by taking a deep breath through your nose all the way to your crown, holding it for a few at the top, and then releasing it through your mouth all the way to your toes. And I want you to do that again. In for 4 through your nose. 3, 4. Hold it at the top. 2, 3, 4. And out through your mouth all the way to your toes. This simple breathing exercise is what helps us come back to the present moment and get grounded into our body. Take a few more deep breaths. Oh, yawning is good. It's giving your body extra oxygen, which is extra nutrients and energy. I want you to start at your crown, and we're going to do a simple body scan, just taking note of what's going on. Start at your crown, go through your brain, your mind, your forehead, all the way down your face, maybe your temples, your ears, your neck. You're just noticing where your energy is showing up in your body right now. And as you continue to go down your shoulders, your arms, even your hands, your heart, your solar plexus, your root and sacral areas, I want you to notice where the energy is fluid and open and free flowing. And as you continue down through your legs, your hips, your knees, your calves and shins, all the way to your feet, notice conversely where the energy in your body feels maybe tense or tight. You could even say stuck. You're just going from the top of your head to your toes, noticing the flow of your energy. You could call it the lightness versus the heaviness that you're feeling. Okay. And as you're getting grounded into this space, just give a quick nod or even just a thumbs up with your icon down on the menu bar here. A thumbs up that yes, you're noticing some energies. Okay. Now I want you to kind of pick one area that's standing out to you and zoom in on it, kind of hone in on it, wherever that is in your body, and take note of as you shift your focus, what does this energy do? You can even deep breathe into that space of energy that you're focusing on. Send that deep, nourishing, warm breath to that area. What do you notice? Does anything shift or change as you engage in this practice? And continue to breathe into it. Okay. Now we're going to pivot a little bit, and I want you to bring to mind, bring to your consciousness something that brings you joy. Something that the more you think about it, recollect, ponder it, it just makes you feel happy. Okay. And as you're thinking of this thing, I want you to take note where in your body you are feeling this joy, this happiness. For me, I had a really cool experience this morning and one yesterday, and I'm thinking of those both. They both have to do with the upcoming publishing of my book and the subsequent episode that I will record as part of a new docuseries coming up. And I'm really grateful to feel happiness about these experiences. Because if I'm truthful, parts of me are nervous about these two big upcoming things. And I feel that joy directly right here in my heart chakra. That's where I feel it. Whatever it is that you're bringing to mind that's bringing this feeling of happiness and joy, you might be feeling it somewhere else. Or also in your heart and another place. Anybody want to share? Are they feeling something that's coming through? There's no right or wrong. You don't have to share. So just enjoy where you're at. And as I mentioned before, every emotion has a different vibrational frequency. In other words, that back and forth of energy, the how frequent that is, every emotion has a different one. So as you're literally cultivating this joy within you, as you reflect on something that brings this to you, that vibrational frequency is going to be higher in your body. Now, I want you to pretend you just found out that you got a raise and you are on cloud nine. You're very upbeat, very happy, or maybe you got a new client, or you found out something work related, really fantastic, okay? And you're happy, you're having a high vibration emotion, okay? The frequency is pretty fast, and the peaks and the valleys, there's a lot of difference between the two. Okay, that exchange of energy back and forth, man, it's there, it's quick and it's intense. Then a friend comes to you in absolute tears, saddened to share that their family dog, who they've had for 15 years, has passed away. Immediately, the exchange of energy shifts. As you are now in this energetic space of your friend, that passing back and forth of energy starts to shift. Your happiness energy begins to reflect this lower vibrational energy of your saddened friend. Because now that frequency, in other words, how quickly or slowly that energy is passed back and forth is now changing. Okay, it slows way down. Okay, think of that energy wave that I drew in the air. It has fewer crests and falls, and there's more space between them. So the higher vibration of happiness downshifts toward the saddened energy of your friend, and now is reflecting a lower frequency, a lower energy vibration. This phenomena is what causes our energy to be, quote, filled, like the term fill your bucket. It's what causes our energy to be filled, or you pull that stopper out of the bathtub, or drained, and the energy will seep right out. That's going to happen regardless, just because we're human beings. The part that we have control over is who or what or where or how we expose ourselves to various energy sources. So in other words, a lot of times it's people. It could be situations or circumstances as well. Someone who is consistently sharing negative news or complains a lot and rants about everything going wrong in the world, they're introducing a very low energy vibration into your space. That passing back and forth is different than, we're going to assume you weren't in that place. If you notice that you often feel tired, maybe uninspired or lacking in creativity, This is an invitation to take note of who you are around or where, in what situations, how frequent. They say that we are the sum of the 5 people we spend most of our time with. Sometimes we forget that that's a choice. We can purposely choose who and how and where and so on we spend our time. It's energy. That's a gift. And some have more, some have less. And only you know where your energy tends to be. And so that's why you have to be the one to take care of or even protect it, as no one else experiences it in the way that you do.